What is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video, My Sports Gematria. In this video, I'm going to go over some UFC fights for Saturday, July 17, 2021. I'm going to show you highlights of each side, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I'm picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon. More picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into the fights. We're going to be looking at UFC Fight Night, Makhachev versus Moises. We're actually going to be looking at all 5 of these fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 of them here. I'm going to go through each one of them. I'm not going to spend too much time on either one of them. I'm just going to go through them very quickly. There's 5 of them here. I don't want to make it too long of a video. It's not a major pay-per-view event. I'm just going to show you what I have marked, and we'll just go from there. On this side of the screen is what I call my daily numbers, date numerology, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. This side of the screen is what I call my game numbers, the way that it's structured. The name of the events right here, the location, the arena, the city, the state, the weight class, and then there's one fighter right here, his name, Gematria, his birthday to and from, the record for overall and for the UFC. In the middle is the head-to-head, Gematria, and then in the bottom is another fighter. His name, Gematria, his birthday to and from, his fight record, his UFC record. So the first fight we have here is Gabriel Benitez versus Billy Quarantillo. So what I have marked here is Gabriel has some interesting numbers for 33. He's 33 years old. It's the 33rd day of his 33-year-old age. He was born on June 15th, and 33 sums to 156. 15/6, June 15th, and it's 333 days till his next birthday. So a lot of 33s for Gabriel on this day. He could come up with a loss potentially. He could become 6-5 for a UFC record with the loss. Today does have 65 date numerology on the Gregorian. But his opponent is Billy Quarantillo, which sums to 74, and he could become 7-4 for a UFC record with the win. Gabriel Benitez, it's 32 or total span of 33 days since his 33rd birthday. This is his 32nd fight, 32 days since his 33rd birthday. Billy Quarantillo is 32 years old. It's the 222nd day of Billy's 32-year-old age, and he can get his second fight losing. He can get his second loss in a row as Gabriel gets his second win in a row, like 2-2, 22, as Billy becomes 3-2, like 32 for a UFC record with the loss. Potentially. It's 221 or total span of 222 days since his 32nd birthday. The 221 could go against Gabriel because he could become 22-10 for a fight record with the loss, which has that 221 look to it. But that's about as far as I got with it. If Gabriel wins, he becomes 23-9, which is the 52nd prime number. If Billy wins, he becomes 16-3, which is the 38th prime number. So maybe find out if either one of these have those prime number connections. I couldn't find any off the top while going over this, but there's plenty of days left in the week for me to continue to look over this and see if there is any. But this is just what I have marked for right now. Let's move on to the next fight. Rodolfo Varia versus Dustin Stolvalsfus. I'm very bad at butchering these names. This is UFC Fight Night, Makhachev versus Moises, which sums to 142. And Dustin, with an upset, can become 14-2 for a fight record in his career. It is 121 days till his 30th birthday. 121 has a square root of an 11, and he could become 1-1 like an 11 for a UFC record with the win to go with. With that being said, though, this fight is taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada, which sums to 133 and 245. His name sums to 245. It's the 245th day of his current 29-year-old age. Today with 29 date numerology on the Gregorian. He could become 13-3 for a fight record in his career with a loss in Las Vegas, Nevada, 133, 245. I didn't really see a whole lot for Rodolfo for the 81 or the 72. He is 31 years old. Maybe he becomes 3-1 like 31 for a UFC record with a win. 31. 31 sums to 109, the 29th prime. Today does have 29 date numerology on the Gregorian. He will be facing a 29-year-old opponent. He'll be 31 years old. So maybe that's a connection there. But I think it's going to come down to that 142 or 133. Is it the event name, which sums to 142, or is it the location? Las Vegas, Nevada. I almost kind of like the location a little bit more because of the 33 and 245. I mean, that's very specific. 245, 245th day of his age. 13-3 with the loss. Well, let's keep it going. Jeremy Stevens versus Matthias Gamrot. There's some interesting upset narrative numbers here. Lightweight sums to 182. Jeremy Stevens sums to 182. Or excuse me, lightweight sums to 128. Jeremy Stevens sums to 182. It's 218 days since Gamrot's last birthday. And with the loss, he could become 1-8-2. 182, 218, 182, lightweight 128. These are all anagrams and similar numbers to each other. It could spell an upset for Gamrot. Could become 18-2. Jeremy Stevens sums to 65 as well, just like lightweight sums to 65. Today has 65 date numerology on the Gregorian. It's 313 days till his next birthday, which is the 65th prime number. He could get his 29th win for his career. Today has 29 and 65 date numerology on the Gregorian. With that being said, though, there's never been a better time for any fighter to pick up their 19th win than to be in Las Vegas to do it. Las Vegas sums to 86 and 130. The number 19 sums to 86 and 130. And Jeremy Stevens can get his 19th loss for his career. Gamrot can get his 19th win for his career. Stevens versus Gamrot does sum to 221 and 211. Both of these numbers have that 21 appearance look to it. This is Gamrot's 21st fight. He could become 2-1 like 21 for a UFC record with a win. So there are some numbers here for Gamrot. They're not as compelling as the 182 218s for the upset narrative, but that doesn't mean they aren't as important. They can still hit. Gamrot, it's the 219th day of his current 30-year-old age. 219 sums to, did I spell it right? 219. Yeah, 219. Oh, I thought it summed to 85. 219. No, I guess not. I was thinking it summed to 85. I don't know why I have it marked purple then. But Stephen versus Gamrot sums to 85. It is the 8th day of the 5th month on the Hebrew religious. And 219 does not sum to... I thought it summed to 81. Maybe I was spelling 119 last time. Yeah, I was spelling 119. So 219 sums to 88, 218. Sums to 218. There's a 218 there again. So I don't know, maybe the 218, 182, 182. Gamrot, I don't know, he might have to be careful a little bit. There are some numbers for the 19 for him to win. I mean, 191 is the 43rd prime number. Las Vegas, Nevada, sums to 43. He could become 191, the 43rd prime in Las Vegas, Nevada, as he gets his 19th win. Las Vegas, 86, 130, 19, sums to 86, 130. So there are numbers here for Gamrot to win. But those 182 218s are kind of interesting as well. So I'll have to come back and look at that again and consider it a little bit more. Misha Tate versus Marion Renaro. I didn't see a whole lot of numbers here for these fighters. But Marion has an upset narrative as well. It's the 28th day of her current 44-year-old age. 28 for 1 sums to 141. And this is the 8th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew Civil. 811 is the 141st prime number. In case y'all didn't know. 811, 141. But it being the 28th day of her 44-year-old age, she could become 10-7-1 for a win. If we just focus on the 10-7 part, which is her win and loss record, if we don't look at the draw, 107 is the 28th prime number. So on the 28th day of her age, she could become 107, the 28th prime. So I think that's kind of interesting. But it is the 198th day of the Gregorian civil year, and she could become 9-8-1 with the loss as well. 981 is just an anagram of 198. It is a day with 45 date numerology on the Gregorian, and Makhachev can get her 19th win and become 19-7. 197 is the 45th prime number, and like I said in the last fight, if there's ever a day to or a place to get your 19th, going along with Makhachev as well, getting her 19th win, it should be in Las Vegas. 19 sums to 86 and 130, just like Las Vegas sums to 180, sums to 86 and 130. One other thing for Marion, she could become 6-6-1 with the win for a UFC record. 661 is the 121st prime number. Today does have 29 date numerology on the Gregorian. 29 does sum to 121. So Marion has some upset narratives here, but it could just be the 981 on the 198th day, 45 date numerology, 197 the 45th prime. So keep an eye out for that. It is Machachev's 10th UFC fight. Maybe that's a reason why Marion gets her 10th win. But she's just like 10 years older. At 44, I gotta imagine she's breaking down at some point. But yeah, let's keep it going. Actually, one last thing, with it being the 28th day of her age, and we know 28 sums to 141, it being the 8th day of the 11th month on the Hebrew civil, like 141, or the 811, the 141st prime number. There is 157 date numerology on the Hebrew civil, and she could become 5-7-1 for a UFC record with a loss. 5-7-1 is just an anagram of 157. And then 811 is the 141st prime. 28 sums to 148. So 28 on the 28th day of her age, she could become 5-7-1. Islam Makhachev versus Diego Moises. UFC Fight Night, Makhachev versus Moises sums to 331, which is the 67th prime number. It also sums to 155. And Diego Moises, who sums to 67, can become 15-5, like 155, for a fight record with a loss. This is Makhachev versus Moises, which sums to 67. And Islam, 102 days till his birthday, can become 201 for a fight record with a win, which is just a reflection of each other. And 201 sums to 67, just like 102 sums to 67. And Islam Makhachev sums to 126. It is the 126th day of the Hebrew religious year. Looks pretty good for Islam. It is a lightweight fight, though. Lightweight sums to 52. Diego could become 5-2 for a UFC record with a win, like 52. I think that's about it, honestly. Diego could get his 4th win in a row as he sits on 4 losses for his career. Makhachev versus Moises sums to 193, the 44th prime number. So that could be in favor for Moises. So I'll go ahead and mark that. Could get his 4th as he sits on that 4. What does 52 sum to? 52. Las Vegas 43. 52, 43. I think that's about it for right now. If he does fall, even though 52 sums to 43, and Las Vegas, Nevada sums to 43, the number 43 sums to 140 and 59. And he could become 4-3 for a UFC record with the loss. 43. His name, Diego Moises, sums to 140 and 59. So that's about what I have for the UFC fight night. I went through this very quickly. You'll probably have to re-watch this. Hopefully you did pick up some tidbits here and there that help you along. Sorry I didn't take my time on this one. It's just UFC fight night. No big deal. It's not a pay-per-view. And I didn't want to spend too much time on this anyway. I just want to kind of run through what I already had and show you guys. And then you guys can fill in the blanks if you're into decoding. And if you're not into decoding, I really appreciate you watching this anyway. And I appreciate the support. I hope you win every pick that you make. Thanks, guys.